Welcome to TechYard guys, this is Saurav here, and a few days ago I posted a video regarding a review of the Xiaomi, and I posted a few things about why I don't love Xiaomi. There were a few reasons, and one of them was that Xiaomi is mainly focusing on offline markets and they have no intention of coming to the offline markets. I somehow felt that this is not right. First of all, because not everyone in India has access to an online market. Moreover, offline market is not dead. It is pretty much active, although might not be as it was before, but it is still there and it will never die. So in this video I will be talking about mostly the differences, the advantages and the disadvantages between the online and the offline markets, and why few companies choose online marketing over offline marketing, and why few companies are actually focused in offline market. Yes, you got it right, I'm talking about Vivo, OPPO and even Samsung, who are actually ruling the offline market. And I will also tell you which market would be best for you to buy a product. So this video is gonna be a bit long. I will give you all the timestamps of those points that I'm going to mention in this video. So if you really want to go to a certain point, the timestamp will be in the description. Make sure to check that as well. And before starting this video, if you haven't done it already, make sure you do hit the subscribe button. And if you love this video, hit the like button and share with your friends. So guys, this is Saurav and here we go. So guys, I'm gonna first start with the offline market because it is a bit older than the online market. Anyways, and in this video I will be mostly, my topic will be mostly centered about mobile phones because that's what I do. And talking about offline market, it is pretty old, pretty old in a normal form of buying and selling. And nowadays, although teenagers are very much interested into online market, we are actually born in that era of online marketing, but people who are actually 35 years old or more than that, in their teenage they were accustomed to this offline marketing, going to a nearby shop, buying a phone, whatnot. So it was their primary way of buying and selling. And talking about offline market and its advantage, I personally believe the main advantage and the biggest advantage of offline market, buying a phone from an offline market, is you get to hold the phone at first in your hand. You check it camera, you check its display, you check its how it feels in your hand. I clearly mentioned in a video where I told you that holding a phone in your hand and feeling comfortable with it is a very important thing before buying a device. So in the case of offline market, you get that opportunity. You first hold the phone, you check all its features, you love it, you buy it. But what happens is that sometimes in the case of online market, all we see is only pictures and we don't get that feeling. So I really love the fact that holding the phone first in hand, then buying the phone, it is a very good thing. And this is, I believe, the only advantage that you will get in offline markets. But yeah, it is a very major advantage. Now talking about online market, it is quite new, although a few years old, but it is quite new regarding offline markets. And online markets are currently the main way to sell mobile phones online in India. And there are various advantages of online marketing, buying phone online. You first see the phone, you love the fact, you love the features, and then what you do, you just take your own Android or Windows or Apple iPhone, whatever it is, or even your PC, you just access to the website, pay them, or just use card, then you just buy the phone and you get your phone in your home. They come to your home to deliver it without any charges. Yeah, it is really time saving. You don't have to travel to a place, then spend 1 to 2 hours in there. You get your phone in your house just by spending 5 minutes in the online sites. And one more thing is that if you just compare prices of the same device in offline and online store, most of the time we get the price cheaper in online stores rather than the offline stores. So yeah, somehow the same product with lower price and all these advantages, really it is really alluring that it really helps you to buy, really motivates you to buy from online stores. There are a lot more advantages than disadvantages in case of online stores. And there are two more things that I would love to mention about online stores and its advantages is that the variety of products. Now if you go to a shop, a nearby shop, whatever it is, no matter how big it is, it will never be able to gather all the products in their shop. It is quite impossible. But in case of Flipkart or Amazon, the two biggest player in India, you get all the products in front of you. You choose anyone and they will deliver it to your home. And another thing is that the replacement policy. What happens mostly is that if you just go to an offline shop, although you checked all those devices, all the devices that you buy, and then you just come home and suddenly you encounter a problem, you just go to their shop and they mostly will refuse not to exchange that. But it doesn't happen with online stores. They have a policy, although that policy has been changed over years, and now the policy is not that great. I will discuss about it later on, but there is a policy of replacement if you find anything wrong with your device, and they have a window of 10 days. Previously it was around 30 days, now it is 10 days. There are some reasons why it has been happened, and somehow the consumers are responsible for that, and I will discuss you about it later on. So guys, the advantages of the online and offline stores are over. Now coming to the disadvantages. Well guys, talking about the disadvantages that we will actually face with online stores is mainly due to happen with shipping. Now they actually send you a product from around the India. It may be the seller you are buying from, actually he has got his shop in Delhi, might be in Kashmir, might be in Rajasthan, might be in Kerala, Karnataka, wherever. It can be everywhere in India. So what happens is that you order Flipkart or Amazon and they inform the seller gets your address, gets the payment proof, and then they start shipping the product. Meanwhile, while shipping the product, they just first pack it, although the packaging is great, but then it comes to the warehouse of Flipkart, then it comes to goes to the warehouse of the courier company, and then the whole process, it reaches you afterwards. What happens in between is that somehow due to poor packaging or a very rough environment, your product might be get hampered or tampered somehow, and it is although it will be covered by the company that you are buying from, might be Flipkart, any online site, it is somehow covered. But ordering a phone then getting a broken display phone, it's not very good. Happened to us once, but we are not bothered at all because it happens. But for the first time buyer or people who are not that much free with online stores might get shocked about after seeing a broken phone that they ordered. And there is one more thing I would like to mention. Some courier companies, there were some incidents where a person actually ordered a phone, got a brick instead, sometimes got a soap instead. It entirely happens not because of sellers, because of the courier boys as well. There are few things going on in the background. I will not mention because that will be like throwing stones in the dark. I won't be saying anything about them, but there are some things happen. Not always the e-commerce site is responsible for sending you a brick. So one thing I would like to tell you, it's a caution. Whenever you're buying from an online site, look for seller and its reputation. If the seller has got a good amount of reputation, buy from him, because he will try to give you the best product possible. He won't sell you a brick instead of a phone because it might give you some kind of money in return, but he will lose his reputation, and what a seller will never want. So whenever you're buying from an online site, if you're a first buyer, check for the seller and his rating. It is very, very important. The good the rating is, the more trusted the seller is. So this is a warning or an advice for all the online buyers. So now talking about the disadvantages about the offline markets, I really don't find anything bad about offline market. I love the whole fact. But thing is, for the same product, online market might cost you 500 rupees less, or even 200 rupees less, or even 1000 rupees less. But in the case of offline market, you have to pay around 500 to 200 rupees more for the same product. Now actually what happens with offline market is that there are a lot of middlemen between you and the company. The company first, they made the product in the factories, then come to the distributors, 2 or 3 middlemen, shop after shop after shop, and then comes to a nearby shop. So there's a tree actually, and in between a lot of people are actually having their profit from every purchase that you do. So yeah, that is why you have to pay a little bit more. And more than that, there are some employees working in that whole shop, so their salary is also included in that. So that's why you have to pay a little bit more in offline market. Now coming to the things that why some company actually prefer online markets and why some companies prefer the offline market. So talking about Xiaomi, Lenovo, Moto, well we all know that Moto is currently owned by Lenovo, but well, Xiaomi, Lenovo and any other newcomers in India like Leco, although I don't know how much long they are gonna stay in India. There are some Google Pixel, although Pixel is available offline though. So there are a lot of companies who are actually focused on online markets and they don't want to go to the offline markets. It's because that when they go to the offline market, their products are already very much value for money. If you just talk about Xiaomi, you are getting a Snapdragon 430 chipset alongside with Redmi 3S. You know that it has powered by a Snapdragon 430 at a price tag of 7,000. Now when that same product goes to offline market, it will cost around 8,000 rupees. Now why people would do that? I mean, why people will go for an 8,000 rupees phone and when you can get it at 7,000 in online stores? Xiaomi did manage to release an offline based model for Redmi 3S series. It was named Redmi 3S Plus, but it has, I believe, has 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of onboard storage and sells at a price tag of 9,000. So there is no point in buying a phone that is already having a lower down specs at a high price. So you know, like I said, there are too many middlemen inside and a lot of things happen. So due to that, you have to pay a little bit more price. For Xiaomi, they are actually focused on online market and I don't see that coming to offline market very soon. I really believe they will never come to the offline market because they want the most amount of profit and the most amount of sale. That's why they produce the flash sale system. So they will never come to the offline market. They will just come up with 40,000 devices at once, sell them, clear their stock, and then again then again start making 40,000 phones more. They're never gonna come to the offline market. Same happens with Lenovo. If we talk about Lenovo's devices, they are also very much value for money. I mean, if you just talk about K6 power, it has got Snapdragon 430 at a price tag of 10,000 and good camera, good battery backup with good audio, cost around 10,000 rupees in Flipkart. Talk about the K6 Note. What it has got Snapdragon 430, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 GB on board, a 13 megapixel rear, 8 megapixel or maybe 5 megapixel front, 5.5 inch 1080p display, and it costs 14,000 rupees. Really? And at the same time, Xiaomi provides the same thing with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage at a price tag of 13,000. There is the difference. Whenever a company focuses going offline, the price of the product goes relatively higher than its counterparts. And that's why people go for online markets. This is why online markets are winning nowadays. Now coming to the point, why Vivo and OPPO are still focused on offline markets is because there are still people who are following their ads. Vivo and OPPO, when they entered in the India market, Xiaomi was already there. Xiaomi was very much already there. They were king of the online sales and they were breaking down all the records done before by Samsung. So they had to do something in India and they really, they got to realize that Indians are selfie gimmicks. They love taking selfies. No matter where it is, in front of a snake, in front of a running train, in front of Titanic maybe, they love taking selfies. So they started marketing their phones in their own way. And what happened afterwards is that they started creating phones with bad internals with good selfie camera, and they really started selling them like hotcakes. They started to sell the phones like hotcakes. People started to buy them at a huge amount. And they really thought of that they won't go online, because if they go online, people will start comparing Vivo and OPPO devices with Xiaomi's phones. Now at the same time, when Vivo and OPPO give Snapdragon, sorry, they are not with Snapdragon, maybe they are with a MediaTek, when at the same time when they provide a phone with a 18 or 20 or 1000 megapixel front camera at a price tag of 18,000 with bad internals, Xiaomi on the other hand provides Snapdragon 625, 4 gigs, 64 gigs, on 13,000. Now when you are gonna compare Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 with a Vivo or Oppo, whatever it is, just forget the 80 megapixel front camera and just compare the internals on the online store. We will really go for the Oppo or the Vivo. You will definitely go for Xiaomi because it is giving you 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage at 13,000, and what it is offering you? It is offering you the same with a bad MediaTek processor. And now most of the Indians really think that MediaTek processors are really bad. I do think so, but some MediaTek processors are really good, but they are not available in India. So most of the time the MediaTek processors can't compete with the Snapdragon, and we always fall for the trap and we buy Xiaomi. And that's why they focused on offline markets, and hence their products are so high priced. This is what happened with Oppo and Vivo. They focused on selfie cameras with bad internals, and when like I said, in offline market, the whole products, the price of the product goes high due to the middlemans and other stuffs, and they are selling MediaTek chipsets based phones at a price tag of 25,000, 20,000, 18,000, just because they have got good front cameras and nothing else. And now there is another responsibility that the shopkeepers bear. Well, there are companies, I mean, especially Vivo and Oppo, they actually tell the shopkeepers that if you can sell this amount of products of us, we will give you a special commission. For LG, Samsung, even Sony, the companies nearly get 5 to 10% of commission. In case of Vivo, Oppo, they get around 15 to 20% of commissions. It is true. So why they will go for Samsung or Sony? They will definitely, whenever you go to their shops, they will try to manipulate you, play with your brain, and then tell you, look sir, look, it has got great front camera. You see how beautiful you look like Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that. And they somehow manipulate your brain and they force you to buy the phone. It also happens with any other product. If you go to a shop with a product in your mind, it happened to me before. I went to a shop I wanted to buy a Sony TV. They keep telling me that Panasonic is way better than Sony. Then I realized is that as I talked to somebody I know, and then he told me that because Panasonic gives them better commission than Sony, so they will definitely try to trick me to buy Panasonic instead of Sony. But I ended up buying the Sony, and I'm happy with my decision. So this is where the shopkeepers play with your mind because of their profit. Don't fall for it. If you're gonna go to your shop, gonna buy a phone, buy that phone only. Even if it is bad, okay, you regret it later, but it was your decision. Don't fall for their trap. They are only there for making profit out of you. And guys, I forgot to tell you one thing is that few years ago, I mean nearly a year ago, Amazon and Flipkart both were offering us 30 days replacement policy for their mobile devices, and now that has been shrinked to only 10 days window. And not only that, they have started providing app to use it, and then they will check the phone remotely, and then they will tell you whether there is an issue or not. Now it was meant to be happen, and it is the right way to do. But why from 30 days window to 10 days window, and this much strictness regarding return policy? Is because buyers started to use misuse the whole thing. And I know my friends, even my friends, bought a phone, used it for 20 days, then do something wrong with it, call Flipkart, then tell them that my phone has got this issue, and then Flipkart had to, because they didn't have the smart check app at that moment, they had to come up and take the phone and then have to go back and giving them a new product. If not, the refund policy is there. So consumers of India literally misused the policies employed by Flipkart and Amazon, and that's why nowadays we only get 10 days of window, and then we have to pass to the smart check app, and we have to talk a lot with them in order to get the product refunded or returned or replaced. So but yeah, if you really get a faulty product, it will definitely be refunded or returned or exchanged. But if you really want to play games with them, then it won't work anymore. I really think that it's a very good step, but they started taking this step very fast than they used to be and then they should be. And I really think it's because that Indian users, their buyers were really doing wrong stuffs with them. And that's why I told you that from 30 days window to 10 days window, and the reasons actually are the consumers. So this is all for today, guys. I hope that you have got an idea of how online stores and offline stores work, how few companies are focused on online, how few companies are focused on offline, and why there is a huge price difference, why this price difference will never go down, and due to the middleman side, like I said. And one more thing, I've mentioned that there are few stores who also sell online. So somehow you might, if you are just going to them, they might give you products at a low price, maybe, but I don't see that's option for 90% of my viewers, so that's not going to happen in real life, most probably. Anyways, guys, this is all for today. I hope you like this video. Do this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it. If you don't like it, do give it a vote it down button, and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. Till then, bye people, have a great day. Hope to see my next video. Stay awesome, stay subscribed.